Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Care by Suzie. Today you're back for another episode of Suzie Dating Emotionally Unavailable Men
Part 3.
If you have missed part 1 and 2, please watch it at the links at the back of this video or at the description below. But before that, may I ask that you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you do not miss any future uploads and videos from me. Well, it does seem like Suzie is deliberately getting herself hooked with all these emotionally unavailable men, but trust me, I am not. It only goes to show that there are a lot more of these men available, and you may ask why. Number one, I blame it on social media and dating apps. Because now people can reach out to people of the opposite gender a lot easier, and the pandemic definitely has a big part to play. People cannot travel, they're locked down, they're lonelier, and they want a connection, but not necessarily mean that they want a committed relationship. So in part 1 and part 2 of my videos, I gave reasons why these men are not ready for a committed relationship when clearly they are the one who actually started pursuing. So I might run through these reasons again at the end of this video, so please make sure that you watch until the very end. So in part 3 of my meeting of an emotionally unavailable man, I met US military guy. Mr. US military guy, a divorcee, claims that he's single and lives in a lavish apartment in a very nice area in Singapore. And I believe he uses this as his bait for potential targets. Well, at least on the better side, Mr. US military is a divorcee and single. Unlike Mr. S in part 1 who has a wife and Mr. British in part 2 who has a long-term partner. But why is Mr. US military still emotionally unavailable? So Mr. US messaged me via Facebook during lockdown, got connected, and very quickly flashed all his credentials and extended me an invitation to visit him at his apartment. He actually suggested that I carefully and secretly flout the lockdown rules to pay him a visit in his lavish apartment, which I straight up turned down. Even if I had found him irresistible, which I had not, I wasn't going to take the risk to flout the lockdown rules to get myself in trouble. He was crazy to even think that I would do that. So we did not speak with each other a whole lot after that and did nothing much to follow up. But surprisingly, after the lockdown rules were relaxed, one of the first things I received was an invitation from him to his apartment again. And I wasn't going to be comfortable being alone with him in his apartment, so what I did was to invite him for a jog and a coffee instead, which he agreed. So on the day we were supposed to meet for a jog and a coffee, Mr. US messaged me in the early afternoon to say that he was spotting a headache and that he might not be able to join me for a jog. So he said that instead, would you like to come up to my apartment instead? He doesn't stop trying. But to be honest, at that point, I was a little bit yielded, a little bit persuaded. Wasn't quite sure, but I asked for his home address. And I reminded him that I would be jogging, so I would come if I do, stinky and sweaty. So I guess he missed the first part of my question, but focused on the second instead. And so the reply was, "Ooh, I think I like that." So I left it as such. Come the evening, I went for my jog and there was no home address sent to me. So I continued my journey. As you can guess, his apartment was actually on my path that I jog regularly. So I did my routine. I went home. I showered, get ready to sleep. Okay, good. He wasn't interested. And then a message came at 12 midnight, which said, "You have forgotten me." So I messaged back, "Dude, you didn't send me your address." So I thought he would say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and stuff like that. But instead, I got back a message, a reply that he sent to me his home address now. And I was like, man, no, I'm not coming over now at 12 midnight. So I warmly said, sorry, going to sleep. And I thought that was it. Message came in. By now it's pretty clear what he wanted. His reply was, you can come over and sleep. I was like, no, I'm already in my PJs. Good night. Okay, so I thought that was it. But it wasn't, because for the next 1 week, he was still pursuing, he was still trying. So at this point, I had wanted to know. So after a few tries, I messaged him like, dude, honestly, are you just looking for a hookup or a girlfriend or a possibility of a relationship? The reply was, I think it's too early to discuss. Now, come on. I totally understand. I haven't met you. I'm not going to make you my boyfriend, but at least I need to know if you're just clearly looking for a hookup. Go somewhere else. Suzie is not interested. I need to know you to see if there's any possibility. So, yes, guys, in case you think that I'm desperate, no, I'm just saying that I am not for emotionally unavailable men. I have my boundaries. If you are not looking for one, there's no even reason for us to meet at all. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Sadly, emotionally unavailable men, part 3. And guess what? After a few more tries, he didn't get what he wanted. You guessed it right. I was blocked on Facebook by him. Well, I totally understand it is way too early to discuss a relationship, but I'm just saying that if you are not even emotionally available to discuss that possibility or explore that, then I'm not going to waste my time. I know a lot of ladies who might be in this situation who will take the chance, thinking and hoping that this man might change his mind. Well, it might happen, but chances that he will not, because why does he need to have a committed relationship when he has girls who are willing to give him girlfriend benefits or have a hookup when clearly he doesn't need a committed relationship? And after a couple of rejection, this guy stopped his pursuit and he blocked me on Facebook. Would I even want a man like that to be my potential mate? So yeah, so I've grown smarter now and cut my losses earlier. And earlier in parts 1 and parts 2 of my videos, I gave an acronym to describe an emotionally unavailable man. Okay, I gave the word unclear. So U for unsure what he wants, N for not ready for a commitment, C for complicated, he might be in a complicated situation, L for basically just lack of interest, just like Mr. US military, or no label. They don't want to be labeled as your boyfriend, even though they want to pretend to be. E for escapist mindset. That means any problem, boom, out they go. A, another relationship, which is the case for my part 1 and part 2. And R for rebound, which will be discussed in my part 4. So please come back. So if you spot any of these occurrences or similarities, okay, in line of unclear, ladies, be very careful. You may want to leave, or you may want to assess, okay, you may want to cut losses and just do whatever it takes to minimize your hurt, your losses. So do I feel bad about exposing these people? My answer is no, because at some point you're making use of me to satisfy your carnal desire when clearly you've already made up your mind to be emotionally unavailable. So if you're ladies in this predicament, you may ask how to handle these situations. So please comment below, because I love to make future videos on how to handle them better. And in the meantime, help me to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And if you have any contributions or stories to share, please comment below, because I'd love to hear your comments, and also I will reply to each and every one of them. So in the meantime, once again, thank you for watching part 3 of my emotionally unavailable man, and look out for parts 4.